Thank you so much for staying with us. We are considering a series of issues, a basket full of them, so many challenges before the Nigeria nation. How do we build a very strong and prosperous nation? We should just develop the capacity to continue to surmount the challenges as soon as they come up. My guest is Madi Shehu, a rights activist. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Mitch.
Now, where do we begin from? A lot of issues to weigh in from. Perhaps let's touch a bit on, okay, let's start with the Twitter issue. The government in talks with the social media platform, rolling out conditions for not just Twitter, but also other social media platforms to meet before they could be allowed to offer their services to Nigerians, as it were.
Yeah. Let me start by saying that I commend the president for being bold enough and courageous enough to suspend Twitter, for me, not temporarily, for a very, very long time to come until they show remorse. That is the duty of the president. Let me also appeal that, please, Mr. President, tell people working around you to stop being apologetic. There is no need
suspension?
There is no need to be apologetic. No apology is necessary. Nigeria is our own country. Every country has its own set of rules. Good or bad, they are all rules. They are all laws. Once you violate them, you should meet the wrath of the law. Twitter cannot do this nonsense in other environments. They have tried them other places. They were sanctioned.
They suspended that of the U.S. president, the world superpower.
Yes. So, going down memory lane, no less than $800 million fine has been paid by Twitter over the last 6 years in different parts of the world. They have been sanctioned. They have been burned. They have been suspended.
But
heavens have not
what
fallen.
some people are not comfortable with, you said over $800 million paid.
Calculate the number of fines they have been paying in different places.
Now, the grounds of some Nigerians is that the outright suspension is unwieldy, too hard on it, and that the process of indeed invoking that sanction is one that didn't follow laid down processes. Sanctions, fines may be imposed by the courts or regulatory agencies. Elsewhere, there's regulatory agencies, parliaments initiate this process, but in the case of Nigeria, it came directly from the federal government, and it didn't quite follow the prescribed process.
Amechi, you have National Assembly in place when Mr. President brings out executive orders. You understand? To ride on, to implement, and to ensure good governance. There is nothing like convenience. Laws of the land have been broken by Twitter. Our president has been insulted. They have given platform for people to promote criminality. Heavens have not fallen. They should not come into our country and insult us. If they want to operate in Nigeria.
Did they insult Nigeria or did they insult the president in quote?
If you insult the president, you're insulting Nigeria, whether you are for the president or not. The corporate entity has been insulted. If they want to operate, they must operate within our own laws. And I commend also the president for insisting that NBC must bring out regulatory framework for any of the giants operating to operate within Nigerian laws, to have physical offices and to be held liable for any breach of the Nigerian law. They must pay taxes also. They are reaping billions of naira in terms of revenue, paying back nothing to the society.
That also
when
creating
they relocated,
have you thought of the jobs?
Which jobs
that are also being
I like this issue of jobs. When they said Twitter has relocated its office to Ghana, and it is because of human rights and free speech, it's absolute nonsense. And they said we are losing job opportunities. By the last check this morning, they employed only 81 people.
Directly.
Directly.
No, when I make hold
on. In Ghana, when Dangote, Odetola, Emerson, are employing hundreds and thousands of people.
Okay.
To hell with 200 people that were losing through Twitter.
Now, when I say jobs, a lot of jobs are being run and operated via Twitter in Nigeria.
They should be regulated within
These
a law.
are the ones I mean.
They should
And
be regulated
They run
within
in
a
their
law.
thousands, perhaps hundreds of thousands.
They should be
A
regulated
lot of
within a lawful platform. Twitter is not a lawful platform. They cannot be held responsible, just like they are claiming now, because there is no existing law regulating them. Therefore, nothing wrong with running business on their platforms, but do it on a regulated platform.
It's not on the president. Is Nigeria operating a monarchy where the head of state, the king or the queen, becomes the state, can be equated to the state?
That is the problem we have in Nigeria. We always do things at our own convenience. Just your opening remark was that how do we build a nation? And I went right on that. Not long ago, on this very table, I told you how nations are built. And I borrowed from the Greek. They have a fantastic way
The city-states.
of building a nation. They said, the entire world, wherever you go to, in any country, in any continent, in any city, there are only 3 categories of people. The first category, they say there are fools, there are tribalists, and there are citizens. They said fools in any given society are those who think only about themselves. They dream only about themselves. They care only about themselves. To hell with any other person. If they are secured, they are comfortable, let everybody go to blazes. These are fools according to the definition of the Greeks, and I concur. They said tribalists are those who think only about their own tribe. They consider only their own tribe. They are sympathetic only to their own tribe. Their concern is their own tribe. If any calamity were to befall on any tribe, as long as it's not their own tribe, to hell with that calamity, everybody can go to blazes. These are tribalists. So citizens are those who think of others first before them. They feel pain when they see other people in pain. When other nations or other countries are in turmoil or in trauma or in a tragedy, they feel it as if they are in that country. These are citizens. And the Greeks went on to say that there is no way you can build a nation when preponderance of the people in that nation are made up of fools and tribalists and less of citizens. If you want to build a nation, have more citizens who have citizenry feelings and less of fools and less of tribalists. And we went further to say that how do you build more of citizens, less of tribalists, less of fools?
Very key question.
By being fair, just, equitable, responsible, and show an example in leadership. Short of this, you will always have preponderance of fools and tribalists calling the shots, destroying the society, dominating the terrain, making noise to pretend as if that is the general rule.
So a quality, good leadership can drive this process where majority of the people become citizens based on the factors you put on the ground.
Just take an example. Somebody contested for the office of governor. Before then, he was a pauper. Just an example. And before you see Jack Robinson, within 1 year, he has built about 30, 40, 50 houses. He's all over the world. He has not fulfilled any of his campaign promises. And that governor wants to have good citizens respecting him in the state, being law-abiding, being willing citizens. No, he will never get that. Unless he shows good example, there is no way he will not have more of fools and more of tribalists. There is no way. It's a fundamental requirement. Functional leadership, responsible leadership, leadership that listens, hears, and fulfills promises, leadership that is futuristic and focused, leadership that is calculative, leadership that knows when to let go.
Yeah, so beautiful on paper, but in the Nigerian context, it's always difficult to achieve this. A lot of people have said the process of a selection of our leaders is defective, faulty. That's why we get the wrong people in.
Yeah, because we celebrate criminals in Nigeria. People with questionable public record, criminal record, who have even gone to prison, will soon thereafter, after going back to their own locality, they are being heralded. They are being celebrated. They are being called heroes. They are given chieftaincy titles. They are being adored. Some are even being worshipped. In a society where you celebrate criminality, there is no way you can have peace and tranquility. There is no way you can have peace and development. There is no way you can have cohesion. No way. We can even go further to give further examples. It's only in Nigeria that you find people who have on record looted largely the public treasury. High, empty, and drive across all those in Nigeria. Soon thereafter, you see their names on the list of national honors. You see them being given chieftaincy titles. They are called kings and princes waiting for the throne to ascend to. Any society with that mentality is a society that is doomed. It's a society that needs to go into soul searching. It's a society that must go beyond prayers. They must go beyond action. They must retract their own steps, and they must be apologetic to God.
Seeking the face of God.
Yes.
And this is where we have found Nigeria, as it were. Now, it tells you there's an uphill task to reverse this trend.
Still, a functional leader can do that. I'm telling you. Hear what happened in Rwanda. I always give example of Rwanda. I have been to Rwanda severally. I was in Rwanda before the war. I was in Rwanda when the war was almost over. And I have been to Rwanda 2 other times after the war.
So you've seen it as
You
far
can
as
see, you must admire that leader. You must admire that guy. You can hate him.
Even
dislike him.
with allegations and perhaps evidence of high-handedness and clamp down on
That is what is
opposition and
required.
media.
That was what he used as a stick to bring back Rwanda back to the correct road. You need that level of high-handedness. You can't just give carrot. You need a combination of carrot, stick, and native wisdom to rule over human beings.
Rwanda, an example.
Rwanda as an example.
That's why it's always a reference
Yes,
point.
yes.
But freedom, human rights, is one issue that is so fundamental that perhaps not everybody will want to excuse it for better economy and fast-growing economy and others. Some people say that's the first factor to consider.
What fundamentally destroyed Nigeria and is destroying Nigeria and will continue to destroy Nigeria is the much emphasis given to human rights while looking away from human wrongs. Yes, human rights are fundamental. But why do you give more prominence to human rights and ignore human wrongs? One person will kill 100 people, 200, 1,000 in Nigeria. And after 2, 3, 4 years, you see him becoming an Oba or an Obi or an Eze or a king or an emir. We have several examples to do that. Irrespective of his past crime, the blood in his own hands, they are becoming big people. Human wrongs are being promoted more than human rights in Nigeria. And until and unless we punish proportionately, irrespective of the social status, for that long, we'll continue losing our own nation gradually to who? To hoodlums. To who? To celebrate the criminals. To who? To looters. To who? To miscreants. To who? To all those who don't love this country.
Okay, let's go on a break. When we come back, other issues are on the table. Madishe, who will react to. Please do stay with us.
The Nigeria of our dream, the Nigeria we need, is the united, indissoluble, and cohesive Nigeria which guarantees equity, fairness, justice, and prosperity for its citizens. That is our focus on people, politics, and power. It is fresh, insightful, impactful. It's a must-watch. People, politics, and power on AIT.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Madishe, who Rise activist, has been with me, and we continue to interrogate factors that indeed inhibit national cohesion, development, peace, and stability in Nigeria. Presently, ongoing attempts to amend the Constitution. How do you think that could be a panacea? Is it light at the end of the tunnel in the midst of several calls for a new constitution and all that? Where do you place all this?
It is laughable that so far the constitution amendment has gone about 5 billion naira as at the last count. That is
for this present one?
That is scandalous enough. That is number
one. Is it for the present Ninth National Assembly or previous ones?
The previous ones, including the current ongoing one now. Even the public hearing now is going to be 1 billion naira officially. Now, let me say for the upteenth time that I do not believe you can spend 1 billion years. You can amend 1 billion clauses if they are there. You can hold any public hearing in respect of constitutional amendment. That is not where the problem is. The problem is in you and me and they and them and all and sundry. Because Nigeria is the only country in the world where you feel only secure when one of your own is in charge and is the governance. With that mentality, there is no way a constitution can operate. For example, if the Southeast are agitating in the past, before now, for power shift. Now, were power to shift to the Southeast, and it falls in the hand of an indigenous Muslim Igbo, in all sincerity, will Igbos feel that power have shifted to them? It's a rhetorical question. I know the answer, you know the answer. Now, currently, in Katsina State, there is what is called Karadua, Daura, and Katsina. Now, currently, with a president from Daura, will Katsina people and Karadua people believe sincerely, right from their heart, that power have shifted to them? Or at a time when Adua was the president, a man from central Katsina, did the people of Daura felt that power was really with them because it was residing in the hand of a Katsina man, not a Daura man? If power were to shift to the southwest, and it falls in the hand of somebody from Ife or Modekeke, it falls in the hand of somebody from Medokiki, will Ife people believe that power have shifted to them? Were power to shift to the middle belt here, let's say to in between Nasarawa, Taraba, whatever you call them, whatever they are called, middle belt, were power to shift to an indigenous middle belter who happens to be a Muslim, or an indigenous middle belter who was born and brought up there by an Igbo, will middle belt people believe that power is with them? No. With this mindset, with this double standard, with this shame, there is no way you can build a nation. There is no way your constitution will be of any use. No way. There are countries
it's not mindset?
It's not a mindset. It's a personal choice. It's a personal choice. And we have made a costly personal choice by trivializing leadership, by trivializing governance, by trivializing representation.
Is it by adopting some form of rotation, some power shift, or what? What do you mean by that?
Rotation is a non-democracy. Power shift is strange democracy. Democracy is the game of numbers. Come out and sell your policies, sell your plans, sell your viewpoints, sell your calculations. Let people buy in wholesale or in retail. But where sentiments of religion, sentiments of tribe, sentiments of region, sentiments of class, sentiments of clique, cartel, cabal play a epicentral role in the choice of leadership, for that long we'll continue lamenting and harvesting what? We are harvesting now death. We are harvesting what? Trials. We are harvesting what? Tribulations. What are we harvesting? Uncertainty. Nobody is safe at home, in the industry, on the highway, in banking halls. These days, even in the cemetery, nobody is safe. All resulted from the fact that we have made an archaic, strange, man-made choice of how our leaders will emerge. And we'll continue to have those brand of leaders until and unless the day and the time we sleep over and we wake up with clear head to do the right thing at the right time, at the right moment.
These factors were present even prior to independence. So how do you think it crept into our body politic?
It was because those people, post-independence people, actually the first set of people who presided over were the only people that had a clear vision for this country. Subsequently, what came in, what descended into the arena, was as a result of the misgivings, of the feelings of domination. In fact, the first military coup that happened in Nigeria has played, is playing, will continue to play and remain permanently in the sentiment, in the psyche, in the psychology, in the anatomy, in the physiology of all Nigerians, irrespective of whether they participated in the coup or not, irrespective of whether they were affected directly or indirectly on the aftermath of the coup.
Okay. So I'm not still very clear when this problem came in. Remember the Williams Commission. It was all about how to address the fears of minorities of domination. So it lends credence to the fact that choice and clamor and agitation of what are we getting out of this government? What are we getting out of this society?
Can you really protect the minorities in Nigeria? Even after the civil war, everybody, you are a minority. I'm also a minority.
In one way or the other,
yeah,
we are all minorities.
See, an Igbo man who is staying in my state in Katsina is a minority any day, any time. How someone who is staying in Lagos is a minority any day, any time, forever, to eternity. You understand? An Igbo man staying in Lagos, in spite of their population that is increasing geometrically, is still a minority there. Therefore, we are all minorities in one sense or the other. The issue of protecting minority does not even arise where there is justice, equity, and fairness. These ingredients, as long as we don't infuse them into the system, being just, fair, honest, credible, irrespective of whether you like him or you don't, once my rights come, give me my rights. If I do something wrong, punish me proportionately. But here you make one set of rule for a set of offenders, another set of rule for other offenders. For that long, you are creating more divisions, more disharmony, more discontent. And of course, you are creating a clear scenario and platform for violence. That is the issue. And that must be addressed. And it can only be addressed if the yearnings of the people are addressed. Like, for instance, people are agitating for Biafra. Wallahi, Biafra should have been given to them yesterday, last week, last year, 2 years back, 10 years back, soon after the war. Because they have clearly indicated their willingness that they are tired of this unionship. And I respect their feelings.
Will you say that also of the Oduduwa Republic?
Let me finish with the Biafra. Now, have you seen a zoo in your life? You must have gone to a zoo. Even on the screen, you must have seen a zoo. If you go to a zoo, you will find different species. The good-looking, the bad, the ugly, the mighty, the strong, the vicious, the weak. All species are there in some of the zoos. Ask people who are feeding in the zoo, who do they feed first? They feed the most violent animals, like the lion and the leopard. And what is that psychology? If you don't feed the lion and the leopard and he goes to sleep, you cannot feed other smaller species, because once you feed them, they will be jovial and jumping and shouting, and it will anger the vicious ones. In the zoo, you have people who are weak, who are there not by their own choice. Anybody in the zoo is there not by choice. In the zoo, you are being caged, your rights are being limited, your movement is limited, you have no choice to food, you have no choice to when you go to sleep. When they want you, they wake you up. If you want to give independence out of the zoo, give people give animals like the lion, like now the bear parents, give them freedom. Let them go out. They are strong. They feel they are strong, and they are strong. They are vicious, because they can survive anywhere. Give them that level of freedom, let them exercise it maximally, except that one day, if you have ever seen an old lion, old lion, you will see that all that viciousness, you understand, all that agility, all that strength, all that aspiration will gradually die down. But it may die down when it is too late to apologize for being strong and vicious in those days and those times.
Now, do we apply this to every other group that have
it is relative.
I'm coming. That have craved for a separatist state. There have been threats from most regions of the country to pull out of the country, if you recall.
Yes.
The northern region, one of the earliest to even pass the threat just before independence and all that. Now, it came to the south, which made an attempt, and also the southwest now. There is also agitated. Do we apply this freedom to all this?
See,
if we do, what will be left of the country?
See, Amechi, welcome Oduduwa Republic. Welcome Biafra. Welcome South Republic. Welcome Middle Belt. Welcome Arewa. If that is the most popular choice, like now I keep on saying, if what Biafrans are agitating for is real, genuine, sincere, and is an aggregate view of the Biafrans, if you don't give them, you are actually changing them. If you don't give them, you are assaulting them. If you don't give them, you are denying them. Hand them over Biafra, not only Biafra. Every other aspiring region can go. What I don't want is we go through wars. We've seen what war has done to Nigeria. We are yet to recover. Nobody was rehabilitated. Nobody was reconciled. Nothing was reconstructed. Let us come on the table. Bring kola nuts. Break it. Joke. Pray. And divide this country into entities that want to go on their way, if that is the only way we are going to have peace.
Is there no other option? You rightly put on the table here that justice, equity, fair play is key.
Yeah.
Should we not, for the purposes of maintaining the corporate unity and existence of Nigeria, said, for instance, should we listen to the reasons why people are putting on the table for seeking secessionist agenda? Do we consider them? Do we listen to them? Do we dialogue with them?
If you bring the reasons on the table that they are given, many people will feel insulted.
In what ways?
And I don't want to insult anybody, but I will say one or two. If an Igbo man says he is feeling excluded, he is being sidelined, he is being sidetracked, he doesn't feel he belongs, that is laughable for the following reasons. Number one, go down memory lane, go and get the list of people who have held sensitive, responsible, specific, influential offices in Nigeria. Igbos have done that in over 40.2% in the last 40 years.
Including the president
including the present government.
Including the presidency
including the president of the country. The problem is go to federal character, go to places where records are being kept. Don't go to the public sentiment to shop. Go to where records are kept also. Who is holding what? How many Igbos are holding offices in public service? What is their numerical strength? How many of them are there in the port authority? How many in the airports? How many here and there? Like if an Igbo man says he has been aged out economically, I will feel insulted because in my own state, in Katsina State, there are over 528,000 Igbos in my own state. And they are doing legitimate businesses. They own properties. They own businesses. Can they sincerely claim that they have been excluded economically?
From
if you go to Lagos, if you go to Lagos,
distribution of resources,
see, if you
that's what they say. It's not from what they have accumulated privately, but by distribution of national wealth via the government.
Mr. Amechi, there is a linear relationship between government revenue, you understand, and personal income of individuals. In my own state, if we are to conduct audit today, we'll close down over 70% of the shops of the Igbos. Why? Because they are not registered, they don't pay tax. But because peace is the focal point of the state, we will dare do that. We will not do that.
it all of them or some of them?
Some of them.
So
Most of them.
Is the responsibility of the government.
Most of them.
Is it not the responsibility of the government to collect taxes?
The moment you begin to ask tax from shops of Igbos, you will start Biafran saying that they are being persecuted.
It may not be right.
No.
Let me make the clarification.
Yeah, make it.
A lot of them are paying taxes, and I've not seen anybody who has refused to pay tax if it's been asked, the person has been approached.
I can speak better for my state than you can. I speak for my own state, and I'm sure I can speak better for my own state. Preponderance of them in Kaduna State who are doing legitimate businesses in spare parts.
How did you arrive at this analysis?
Because I refer to data.
Which of the
data is available.
Which one?
Data in Kaduna State.
From what source?
If you want, I can give you. There are studies that have been conducted as to how to improve internally generated revenues in Kaduna State.
Conducted by the state government?
Yeah, and the report concluded and gave a breakdown of those sectors that have not been properly harnessed because they are not registered, and they have not come forward willingly. You can go forward and pay tax willingly without being asked.
Did the report also capture citizens who are not paying taxes?
All of them, citizens and non-citizens.
So what's the number for the citizens that are not paying taxes?
See, that is an issue for another day.
So that we can put everything on the table.
If you want, I can give you the report. The report is there.
No, so for the benefit of our viewers,
well,
because you mentioned the
summary is that both citizens, indigents, non-indigents have been captured by the entire report. And believe me honestly,
and most of them don't pay tax.
Most of them.
So it's not peculiar
even the
to
citizens,
Igbos.
even the citizens, even the
so
indigents.
It's not peculiar to Igbos.
But we are talking about the Biafra now. We are talking about exclusion economically. We are talking about exclusion politically. It is a political decision for you to look away, even when you know you are going to do the right thing. Sometimes it is a political calculation. It's a political sophistication to look away temporarily to avoid any breakdown of law and order or turmoil or misgiving or double interpretation. That is very important.
Okay, it is heightened in the last 6 years.
Yes.
This agitation is heightened. They said this president has shortchanged the South. For instance, let me give you an example. Most people that come to this platform say, out of the 27 security agencies and security-related agencies of the federal government, none is being headed by someone of Southeast extraction. And they say it's a clear indication of injustice, a clear indication of suppression and repression. How do you...
Who was the army staff during Jonathan?
I'm talking about the last 6 years.
We built a trend.
Yes.
Who was the chief of army staff?
There were several of them.
And how many of them are from the south and how many of them are from the north?
I'm making reference to the Southeast.
From Obasanjo to date, we had 7 chief of army staffs.
Out of which only 4 are
from the north and 3 are from the south. Unless if you are saying that you must make a chief of army staff from each and every tribe, which is impossible. You cannot. See,
how many of them from Jonathan that are from the south?
Can we look at the bigger picture of Nigeria? Let us not be myopic. The bigger picture of
we
Nigeria.
Are making references. We have been making references to positions of
if you go to the Navy,
who dominated
the Navy?
That was the only
the Nigerian Navy, rank, file, and officers, over 80% are dominated by the South, and the South is the record are there. If you have anybody in the Nigerian Navy to give you, nobody is complaining. If you go to the Nigerian Air Force, it's the same thing. South is command only more than 42.3% of the entire workforce of the Nigerian Air Force, both civilian and regular officers.
What of the Nigerian Army?
See, even the Nigerian Army.
What's the record for the Nigerian Army?
Take the whole population of the Nigerian Army and find out how many Northerners are there, how many Southerners are there. I don't have exact figure of the Nigerian Army. Okay. If you have one, give me. We can discuss it here now. Yeah, okay. I do.
Now, another issue is that numbers. There was a time people put numbers of those in the civil service.
Yes.
Then some others said, or those that are heading parastatals. Some have also said, what is lacking in that is you can't categorize all the parastatals. There are grade A parastatals. In fact, if you talk of those that control the economy, the Ports Authority in Lagos, the NNPC, which one again? You can't grade them with one parastatal, for instance, in science and technology, that if we want to do an evaluation, we have to put objective criteria to really get the data, the information out of the data.
I bring you another problem. The problem you're bringing is that now it means we are bringing routine in corruption. Pure. For me, public service should be seen as public service. Wherever you are taken to, deliver to the best of your ability. If you are looking at Port Authority, okay, they have so much money, we can steal so much, my people can steal so much, my man can place so many people on employment there, NNPC, PTDF, everywhere. Please, for God's sake, excuse me, let us look at public service purely as service delivery without bringing in sentiment as to who is there. Like, for instance, if you have a minister for education from the south, and he goes to my state and builds a university, when there was a minister of education from the north, who has not done that, my hero would be that southern minister who has done credibly well to raise the standard of education in my own region. For God's sake, we should celebrate people who are credible, and they are all over the country. We have credible people in the north, in the south, in the east, in the middle belt, responsible, whose focal point is development, who are friendly, who are extending hands of friendship to everybody, irrespective of where you come from. This should be the starting point if we really want to build a society that everybody will feel relatively secure.
Some have even said, such as the vice president, federal character principle provision in the constitution shouldn't be there.
And then you are taking that you want to protect the minority. If there is no federal character, how will a minority find
that's the dilemma between the devil and the deep blue
that is very important. Federal character is a necessary evil. Believe me honestly, those who are agitating for the dismemberment of this country, I concede they come their own way. But believe me honestly, they will regret. There is this adage that says, if on your wedding day, you see the bride's family dancing, over dancing, they keep on dancing and dancing and dancing.
Outdancing.
And even when the drama stops, they keep on dancing. The message that I send to you is that you have removed for them one of their biggest problems. You have taken away from them, their problem. Those who are agitating will soon realize it's just like you buy a goat. Give that goat to a small child. Tell the child that this is your own goat. The child will dedicate all the time to feed and to water and to look after the goat. But the day the goat is slaughtered, will tell the child exactly who the real owner of the goat is. When he is given just a fraction, a small portion of the entire goat, and he see other people who have not even participated in tending the goat getting a larger portion of it. You break away, you go, but the result will be regrets, morning, afternoon, evening, night, all day through, all week through.
You're so certain about this.
I am so certain about it, there will be regrets. I'm sure. But if that is, I keep on insisting, if that is the personal choice, and if the consensus of regions who want to go, in the name of God Almighty, let us sit down on the table and divide and go.
I remember I said this earlier, I'm repeating it again. In the history of Nigeria, the biggest nation has always, nationalities, threatened to move away from Nigeria.
Yes.
Yes, the biggest of them have always threatened. So if we should adopt this strategy, where would it lead us? If anybody agitates, you say go. If anybody threatens to go, you say go. Where will it lead us?
No, we don't wait.
Can we say we are nationalists?
No,
we shouldn't wait. We shouldn't wait.
We shouldn't wait for further agitation anymore. Agitations are ripe. Middle belt, southwest, southeast, south, north central. The agitations are full to capacity. I'm calling on the leaders of thought in this country. I'm calling on those people who posterity will hold responsible if they don't act now.
Okay.
To please make an arrangement.
You don't think that listening to the grievances and trying to see how it can be ironed out is a better alternative?
You know the grievances, I'm sure. You know them better.
Are they irreconcilable? Are they irreconcilable?
They are not reconcilable. Because
have we made efforts to have them reconciled?
They are based on sentiments, deep-rooted sentiments. They are rooted in personal hate. They are rooted in personal misunderstanding. They are rooted in personal misinterpretations.
That you think negotiations will not unearth and clean up?
I don't think it will. Believe me, painfully.
That's the opinion. Some other people may also think otherwise. Madi Shehu is a rights activist, and he has weighed in for the past 45 minutes or so on Nigerian challenges of nation building and how we can, of course, get out of our numerous problems. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
for
much.
coming again on the program.
Thank you.
My name is Amechi Anaku. Enjoy your time and join us tomorrow for another edition. Have a good time.